Hello and welcome to the Futro Hidden Movie Gems podcast. I'm your host, Ty Christensen. And through the tulips, by the tree, by the That song scares me more than anything in this movie. We've got Jordan Christensen.
Bathsheba! Oh, wait, that's the wrong movie.
Dude, I was thinking the same thing. How dare you?
Every time I see...
How dare you?
Every time I see... what's his name?
Patrick Wilson.
Patrick. I think of that. Bathsheba!
Bathsheba! They condemn you back to hell. Yeah, all right. We've got Clinton Westover, or should I say Dr. Clinton is in the house.
I gotta stay late grading papers. What can you do, right?
Did you catch that, Clinton? This time, did you see the little jigsaw in the background?
Oh, yeah, I saw him. He's hard to miss. He's, like, huge on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, like James Wan alluding to his earlier film, Saul film, or whatever. Guys, we're talking about Insidious. This movie came out in 2010. It was directed by James Wan. And it stars Patrick Wilson, Rose Byrne, Ty Simpkins. His name is Ty. I also am named Ty. Just Ty. Not Tyler. Not Tyson. Not Typhoon. Not Tyrell. Not Thailand.
And did you see who it was written by, Ty? The same...
And Lynn Shane.
Yeah.
I just had to throw out Lynn Shane. Did I see who it was written by? Leigh Whannell. Leigh Whannell, what does he do?
Dude, he did Upgrade.
Or Leigh Whannell.
He did...
Oh, wait, yeah, he's the actor, though. Yeah. Leigh Whannell's in it. Yeah, he's also...
But I was looking some...
He starred in Saw, didn't he?
Yeah, he was the first guy, and
yeah.
So they worked together. And I didn't realize that, like, he actually wrote this. It's just kind of fun to see them working together.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Was he in... I always think he looks like the guy in Scary Movie. Was he in Scary Movie?
No, I don't think so.
Cop Cycles, Scary Movie 3? He wasn't that guy?
No, I don't think so.
The rapper? Are you sure? I don't see it here, so yeah, maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. He looks just like him. He really does.
I've never seen this guy in my life.
Never seen
I've seen all the Saw movies.
Wait, what? Okay, he's the first victim in the first movie.
Yep, I have no recollection.
Oh, man. I also like Angus Sampson. He's this very strange person. He plays Tucker. He's the other...
are you talking about the guy playing with the...
Mad Max. Yeah, he's in Mad
Max.
Max.
Playing with the
umbilical cord.
Yeah.
Yep. That's where I recognized him from, because it was such a prominent role in him. Like, that guy belongs in that world.
Yes.
So, let's get into it. What was it like watching this movie for the first time and rewatching it for the podcast? Let's start with you, Jordan.
Oh, first time. Oh, boy. This movie messed me up. I watched it with Nick in college, and because of this movie, he got thrown out of my apartment because he was technically, I guess, freeloading, sort of. He was just kind of living with me for a while.
Sort of freeloading, sort of.
Sort of. And he was
a squatter.
It was an extended vacation or visit.
He wasn't frogging because it was to your knowledge. He wasn't living there while unbeknownst to you.
So what happened was he was up all night. He was making those sounds, the tick tick of the piano thing. What is that tick thing called?
A metronome.
A metronome. That metronome. Like, he kept doing that all night, and so I was screaming. And my Chinese roommate, he was very upset, and he was like, and so he called the owners of the house. And they came and found alcohol, and it's, at BYU, so you're not allowed to have alcohol. So they kicked him out of the apartment. They were going to kick me out, but Nick explained the situation, said I was helping him through some hard times, so they didn't kick me out. But that's what Nick gets for making me scream all night, bomb, after watching this movie. And he kept saying, he's like, I see something in the room. And so I was screaming, and it was not funny. And then rewatching it, I forgot how freaky this movie was. And it feels like 3 different movies, like 3 acts.
Love it. How about you, Clinton? What was it like watching it the first time and rewatching it for the podcast?
I've never had the pleasure of watching it with someone. The first time I watched it was by myself.
Yeah, well.
And then this last time I, again, watched it by myself.
You're crazy.
Yeah, like, I think it was, the first time I watched it, I was surprised how scary it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I came into it thinking, like, I haven't really heard much of this movie. It's probably, like, a B kind of horror film. But it was, like, top of the line good. Yeah, and the second time watching it, it's fun to watch because it's, like, set in a home. And since I'm by myself, like I said, like it makes it that much scarier.
Oh, that's right. Alex isn't home. I forgot about
Yeah.
that.
Yep, they're
You gotta
gone.
What are you doing all alone? Is she leaving you? What happened?
No, they like to party.
Okay. Oh, got it.
And she's like, Clinton, you never like to have fun. And I'm like, well, I have a job. I can't really leave for 10 days. But, you know.
You never do anything fun. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm paying for your fun with my work. Yeah. So.
What was that quote? Like,
Women.
I'm not just some hot chick who could bail on life and go move in with somebody.
Is that Rick and Morty?
I don't know. Yeah, I think that is Rick and Morty.
Oh man, Clinton, have you been watching the new season?
No, I've hardly watched any of those, but they're hilarious.
Yeah, well, they're great. So, what was it like watching the first time for me? So I watched the last 10 minutes of this movie in college, and there was a bunch of girls. They were all really scared. They needed big, burly, sexy men, single, of course, at the time, to keep them company. So I walk in, the end of the movie. So I actually knew the ending, the spoiler. So at the very end of this movie, spoiler if you guys don't want to hear it, the evil demonic woman possesses Patrick Wilson's character, and he comes back as demonic.
I know,
right?
what an ending.
So,
Gosh dang, that terrified me.
yeah.
Oh, and double spoiler, it's not a woman.
Oh, wait, what? Is it not the evil woman? Wait.
I thought, isn't the sequel, like, goes into the backstory of the old woman? And
I don't remember the second one. I gotta watch
I
it.
don't remember
okay.
either, because so I saw the very end, and then like a week later, I ended up watching the sequel, and then I'm like, oh, like this is really trippy. It like has so much to do with the first one, but I have not revisited that since watching this one again. So I technically watched this movie for the first time yesterday. So I had
Really?
never seen the full Insidious movie. Yeah, this was just one that escaped me. All of my friends that have ever seen this, I live in the weirdest time where people are like, I won't watch demonic possession movies unless they're rated PG-13. It's like, what? Like demonic exorcism movies, unless they're rated PG-13. If they're rated R, it's just too grotesque. It's like, this is no different than The Conjuring. In fact, there's probably more disturbing images in this one than The Conjuring.
Yes.
Maybe not,
Maybe.
it's right up there. I mean, obviously James Wan, his style and the way he directs films, like The Conjuring was not any worse, let's put it that way, than this movie, right? I mean, yeah, it's probably a little scarier, but in the end, I'm always baffled. But it's like, it has to be PG-13. It's like, you're talking about demonic possession. Like, what do you care about morals and whether or not it's rated? Anyway, whatever. I mean, unless there's like a demonic or a giant demon in the movie. It's like, it doesn't matter what it's rated. Anyway, that's just my thought about it. So why did I go on that tangent? Because all my friends were like, it's one of the 8 PG-13 horror haunting movies I've seen, and only one of the few good ones that stylistically looks good, and it's well acted, it's well directed, well shot. And so all of them had already seen it, so none of my roommates wanted to watch this movie after they had already seen it like 8 times. They had already watched it with every single one of the dates that they'd ever been on. So this movie just escaped me all this time, but I finally watched it through its entirety, and I gotta say, well played, James Wan. I like this movie. And
Yeah, right?
and Leigh Whannell, I want to say it's just Leigh. I'm going to call him Leigh from now on. It might be Leigh. It's like Leigh.
Yeah, how do you
Leigh?
say that?
That's Leigh.
Leigh?
Leigh. Oh,
That's
Leigh.
Leigh. Well, Leigh, change your name. Gosh dang it, Leigh. Who spells it like that? Okay. Sorry, your parents hate you. Leigh, Lee. That's how you do it. Okay. So Leigh, kudos to you, man, because when I saw him, I was like, oh, that guy looks so familiar, and then I found out he's from Saul, and I'm like, there it is. And I swear he was the guy in Scary Movie 3, but he's not. But
I like you're
swear.
still on that.
You're the one that did the story on the crop circles. Yeah, whatever. I freaking love Scary Movie 3. That movie's so stupid.
They're
but
so
I love
funny.
it. Loved this movie, and I'm interested to watch it again. This is one of those movies I'll probably watch again because it holds up. It's really well done. So let's get into what are two favorite things from this movie. Let's start with you, Doctor.
I like how he created this whole like world that is actually kind of believable, because a lot of people believe in other dimensions or spirits and things like that. So he took an existing thing that lots of people believed in and made this believable thing with the astral projection, the different dimensions. And I felt like it was almost like an Inception thing, like in a dimension within a dimension, where he's looking, goes into the further, and he opens the door, and then he's in that like hellish place with that hooved demon, and
Hooved.
And
Dude, Darth Maul.
Yeah.
Darth Maul. Half goat, half Darth Maul.
Yeah, I think
man.
they just
That's
took
what it is.
all the things like that are terrifying and just like, oh yeah, the face of Darth Maul, and then those evil Billy Goat, and then just like morphed it and mashed it together with
Yeah.
a creepy tail.
and the tongue
It's
tongue of a
Krampus
snake.
and Darth Maul.
Yeah,
That's right, and the tongue of a snake. That's right.
Yeah, let's see. I like also. Oh man, there are a lot of things I like, but I like that scene where the like 1950s family is like sitting like frozen, and then she
no.
just like shoots everybody, and then like he's just like trying to walk away, and then all of a sudden they're like right next to him, like looking at him. They smile with that like crazy smile. Like there's so many things that throw you off balance. Like you think you know what's going on. Like there's that like demon in the baby's bedroom, but then the little boy runs across, and you're like, what the freak? Like why is there a boy now? Like what kind of ghost is it? Is it a ghost? There are just all these things that just kind of throw you. And same when he's in the further and like all the. Yeah, like that scene. I really like that.
Yeah, and was that a boy or was that like an old man? Because it had like wrinkles on his face. I tried like pausing it, and it's just like this creepy looking thing.
Jumping out of the cabinet, yeah.
He was dancing, pretty spry. I was guessing he was a little boy. But...
Yeah, I think it was a little boy, and he was pretty small to be a fully grown. I mean, Benjamin Button small. Maybe it was like a Benjamin Button situation. Jordan was like a giant old man in a tiny
Well, I just didn't
little
know if it was a dwarf or something, you know?
dwarf. Nah, not with that golfer hat or whatever you call it, those like head warmer hat that he had, you know. Just, yeah, old timey. You could tell it's like, oh, the old spirits that used to live here, you know. I like it. So, Jordan, why don't you get into two of your favorite things?
Oh boy. I love that James Wan goes about jump scares the right way. I mean, it's so easy just to play a loud sound, but he mixes loud sounds with like unbelievably freaky images. Just like Clinton said, that scene when they're just all of a sudden standing next to him and smiling. Just there's something super eerie and extremely disturbing about his setups, and I love how unloaded his shots are. Like he only puts a lot, like one of my other favorite directors, David Michaud. He just puts only what he only puts
Michaud.
he only puts
call him Michaud.
Just the right amount of stuff in the shot, just only what you need to see. And then a lot of things in this I'd forgotten. I'm like, oh, that's in this movie? Because like I love that they don't treat the people so dumb. Like in horror movies, so many times I'm like, you stupid idiot! Like you're so dumb. But this movie, they actually leave the house. Like nobody does that in a horror movie. That's amazing. Like they're like, let's move.
He even says at one point, like, am I not the voice of reason here? Like this is crazy.
I know.
Yeah, it's great though. Yeah, the demon followed them, so it didn't matter where they lived. I thought that was a good way to be like, oh, there's something wrong with the house.
Yeah.
I thought this one was kind of fun, where it's like there's something wrong with a family member, and that being said, like you said, Jordan, I like that because you're like, oh, so like it's just haunting the boy because the boy is evil, or like you keep thinking that's gonna happen, like demonic. Because I'm pretty sure if you watch the trailer, I do remember seeing the trailer for this. They made it play like the kid was like evil.
Yeah.
Like they made you think. So
yeah,
the whole
they
marketing
did.
for it. They did, and so you watch it, and you're like, "Oh, like the kid's gonna be," and then you're like, "Oh, like my heart's breaking for this kid.
I know.
He's like paralyzed," and yeah, it just goes through the crapper, that poor child, you know. And so I like that. So actually, I was getting into two of my favorite things. I love the bait and switch that they did because. We moved houses, but it's still here with us. I like that. Like the demon, it doesn't matter where you live, doesn't matter where you are. It's just anytime you're alone and in the dark, it's so freaky. And it kind of plays on things that I really like from other movies. Like I loved Signs from M. Night Shyamalan when he did the baby monitor. He did that, like sometimes less is more, and the baby monitor picking up stuff. It reminded me a lot of also The Sixth Sense, like the baby monitor, when it's upstairs and you just see the door and you just hear the whispering on the monitor.
Yeah, I totally thought of that.
You don't need to see anything, and that was probably the most intense moment for me, just feeling like anxiety, because children, like you don't want the babies hurt, but like there's this creepy guy that's just like, I want it now, give it to me now! It just screams and the door slams and the mom's running up the stairs. That's a terrifying thing, dude. Like, so that was really well done. That definitely got me. So the jump scares are really good, and I think it has one of the coolest demonic first reveal, kind of reminiscent almost of Rosemary's Baby meets, like, I don't know, like when you just get like one flash of the demon, like It's only like 1 second, 2 second, almost blink and you miss it. Although you can't miss it because when the mother's there, I love it when she's talking about the backstory. You kind of feel like you're safe because the people that are possessed aren't there. And there's a great scene
and it's during
where
the day. You're like, nothing's going to happen.
Yeah, and then she's just sitting there recounting what's happening, and then she looks over and sees the demon right behind Patrick Wilson. It freaked me out. And what's really cool, this movie benefits from rewatch because the bait and switch that we talked about, how you think the boy's possessed the whole time, it's actually following the father all of his life. You know, at least the woman spirit was. So I guess you could argue that, yeah, this demon was a solitary, solely the boys. But you know, I liked that. I don't know why. Just like if you rewatch it again. Oh no, actually, wait. I'll be fair here. This movie tripped me up because this is why I actually liked the movie. I liked it because I saw the ending spoiled for me. I thought that like Patrick Wilson's character was always bad. So I watched it this time. Guys, go into it with that expectation that he's bad the whole time. It changes the whole movie entirely. But at the end, the twist was, no, he was actually good up until the very end. Like what was he doing? He was like, I have to stay and grade papers. You made that joke, Clinton. I was like, oh, yeah, sure. He's probably doing incantations or being evil, right? Like, that's what I thought. I was like, this guy is evil. Guys, seriously, watch it with that expectation. It blew my mind because at the very end, it's like, oh, technically he was like totally fine. But see, the moment where the demon's behind the father, I was like, oh, this demon is with the father.
Oh,
that's why it's behind him.
I do like that, yeah.
It's following him. Seriously, and maybe there's another reading out there, or maybe there's a fan theory out there, because there's a lot of evidence to support that. The father's playing aloof. She's like, you never have to stay late. And he's like, got to stay late and grade papers, you know? And he's like there's something there.
I know.
I
thought they were going to make it like him cheating on her or something, because I was like, oh, interesting.
Right. But see, they did mention that when he was a boy. Well, this is the other thing. So what I liked about it was, again, just being aloof. But it was like when he was growing up, he doesn't have the photos and everything. I was like, oh, this is going to be the Sixth Sense where he's dead the whole time, or he's the demon the whole time, or the demon's been living inside of him the whole time. But it only happens at the end. I almost think it would have been interesting. He's playing the long form game where it's kind of like Hereditary, where it's like, I will, infest this one soul and this vessel will be my body for the next 20, 30 years. And then when it's old and getting older, I'm going to inhabit the body of a new young body. So anyway, very interesting watching that way. But yeah, it was a different demon haunting the boy. And I like the ending. It kind of had the feel of the movie Life with Ryan Reynolds and Jake Gyllenhaal, where the alien's, in one of the pods, and then he sends the spaceship off into the future, and the other one goes off into deep space, and you're like, oh, good, they got rid of the alien in the other pod, and then...
How many movies are you going to spoil, Ty?
Yeah, I'm explaining all of it. Life was a terrible movie, guys. The best part about the movie Life was the interviews that Ryan Reynolds and Jake Gyllenhaal did together, because they are super funny. Watch those interviews. Go on YouTube, look up Jake Gyllenhaal and Ryan Reynolds talking about the movie Life. They had more fun doing those interviews than they did filming the whole movie. And it's way more entertaining to watch than the movie Life.
Yeah, that movie sucked.
That movie sucked. Okay, anyway, so we were talking about Insidious here. So those are my two favorite things. I loved thinking that I knew the movie based on the ending, but the ending isn't actually the reveal. It's because I saw the ending where I know what happens with Patrick Wilson and her character when he strangles her to death, which was crazy. It was very intense, and then at the very end, the whole, like, oh, I'm right here, hon. Like, that's a great moment, because that poor helpless mother now, like, just got her son back, but now lost her husband. I love it. This movie does a great job.
I gotta say, one other thing I really like, too, the use of, like, breadcrumbs throughout the film, how there's, like the kid drew pictures of his time in the further, and, like, the evil demon,
yes.
Like you see that and he's like, holy crap, that's what happened. Yeah. And like the pictures of the dad with the evil like grandma wedding dress ghost thing, like getting closer to him.
Yes.
How there are all these like different like evidences that something crazy is going on. I love that.
I love detective work. I love that in horror movies when they're like, what is going on? Like the part of the mystery is revealed, but on rewatch you watch all those things. Like they mentioned very obviously, like, oh, he doesn't. How did you get him to sit still? Like he never sits still for photos, and you're like, why is that? My little detective radar's going ring-a-ding-a-ding-a. So. I love that. You're right. Like the aspect of like noir, investigative kind of type of movie. Mystery. I love it. Do you guys have any nitpicks or questions? I don't like it. If I was the brother and he's like, oh, I don't like it when he walks around at night, I was like, nope. I would be like, see, again, thinking that the boy is
that reminded me of Signs when she comes in and says, Daddy, there's a monster in my bedroom. Can I get a glass of water? There's a monster.
Yeah. It's kind of scary. You're like, wait, what? The idea that he's a paralyzed kid and then he's getting up around at night, sleepwalking, I was curious about that too, because I was like, is the other boy seeing his other spiritual self? Because again, I was trying to confuse about the timing of it all, so I kind of got confused there.
That's what I thought.
Because, was it before he went paralyzed that he was seeing him around? Because he goes,
after.
I don't like him. It was after that he says the line. I just didn't know if he was saying like, and that's where it's kind of creepy, because it's like, so is the boy seeing him in his dreams? Is that why he can see it? Like, why can the other boy see the other or the further version of his brother? Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I thought it was... we do see
the brother. He saw the actual
physical
his brother
body of his brother walking around.
Aren't the demons like trying to possess him?
The demon move him, yeah. So the demons like actually physically move him. I guess that's what's going on. Okay, I get that. Like, again, I was just confused because I was like, the brother can't get up on his own. So is the boy seeing the astral projection of his brother walking around, or the actual physical body possessed by the demon, which is what I think we're supposed to take away from that. Got it.
I should have used the quote where he's like, that's a hand modified from a toy. And he's like, I love that little like when he's flipping through the different color grades.
Picks up geothermal,
and then he sees the girls in the corner. I forgot about that part. That freaked me out.
Kind of reminiscent of The Shining. It has a lot of cool callbacks and nods to things that you like. Everyone hates two twin girls. Like no one loves twin little girls that are like 4 or 8 years old. Those are terrifying. Everyone hates those girls. Come play with us. No, F you. No, I ain't playing nothing. I ain't playing nothing with you. I ain't playing Foursquare. And then the other one was like the front door opening. Like, no.
Oh, I know. And that alarm keep going off
and the alarm kept going.
Alarm's gone off in our house before, and it's like a horrifying feeling because you're like, oh my gosh, like is somebody in the house? Like
there's a door wide open and there could be an intruder in here. Yeah, terrifying. Nope. Move out. And then they move things. They move out, and then like the box. Because that poor woman, she was being driven crazy. What I really like about movies like this, Poltergeist, well, less so Poltergeist, but I still like about it is just, I love it. But what I was going to say is grief. I like how movies play on grief because it just makes it so much more devastating. The horror, like it's almost like, so in Hereditary, a lot of the horror comes from just immense emotional grief, right? And this movie, and Midsommar, like all of Ari Aster films, but this one, like a mother losing her child to some debilitating illness that they can't figure out. Like, that's just so hard on a mother. On top of that, feels like she's being driven crazy. She has a baby that she has to care for, a husband that doesn't help out, lazy Patrick Wilson. Not going for the Father of the Year award, that's or even the Husband of the Year. But super disappointing, like this poor woman is like at the end of her rope, and on top of everything else, no one believes her. Everyone thinks she's crazy. All good stuff. And then the baby, the freaking face inside the stupid thing. Get rid of that. No kid needs a net over their bed. I hate those things. Those things are so crazy. You can see all kinds of faces in them at night and shadow cast. Like, get rid of those. You don't need one of those creepy fish net or fly net. What are those, mosquito nets? I hate those things. They're just so scary. Get rid of them.
Looks
please.
like a bridal thing.
Yeah. Like one of those cloth veil things.
Oh, veil. That's creepy. What it's called, man.
Yeah, a little. No, they look more like a mosquito net. Like, you're fine. You live in a nice house. You don't have mosquitoes, okay? Jeez.
I know it was necessary to have all the spirits like coming out and getting close to the body.
Ooh, I like that. Did you not like that?
For some reason, it just didn't feel as creepy as a lot of the other parts of the film. It just felt like a bunch of people standing around, like reaching for. I don't know. I feel like that could have been done better.
Oh, really? I love that.
I would say one thing I really liked is like the final act with the demon. That was like taking a trip down a different movie. I felt like you go into the further and they're like in this house. It turns into like Texas Chainsaw Massacre where he's like just sharpening his claw. It freaked me out. Like it really did. Like seeing his little world where this guy's just like. He's like listening to music and then he like looks out and he sees that his son's been unshackled and he's just like, that's my boy. Like. It's so creepy. Like, it's the creepiest thing. Like, it doesn't feel like it actually belongs in a haunting movie because it's kind of like what you would expect out of a serial killer movie where it's like a creepy house with music playing, classical music, of course. Like, of course, every killer has like super refined taste for, symphonies and Beethoven's the Fifth or whatever. But it's like, what is it about like showing the demon and like his own little house. Like he has like
Little
all
puppets.
these weird knickknacks in his house, puppets that just dangle around. Like, freaking heck, dude. Like, anyway, that just seems like a different movie entirely, and that's what kind of added to the suspense because it kind of switches genres on you because the whole movie's like about haunting and you expect to see only haunting things, and then it turns like serial killer at the very end with like a creepy demon that's literally sharpening his claws and like has his kid shackled up in his house. Like, it's not an image I expected to see, and I liked that, and I also liked the idea that he was holding the kid hostage there. So I think that was well done because it subverted my expectations.
Did they use stop motion for when he was crawling on the wall? Because it had this weird like jarring look. I don't know if he sped up the speed or something.
Part of it, I think it just had to do with like, and maybe budget or something, because they even at this point, like, I feel like they've had like James Wan has had to like prove himself time and time and again, and then again 2010 it was probably hard to do.
But before we leave the whole thing about him being in that room, like the demon thing, I think the puppets were kind of a call to like him wanting to control the boy, like he controls a puppet.
Yeah,
so
I like that.
Sure.
That's what he's into, is controlling things. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like it. I like
it's
it
like
a lot.
being John Malkovich day.
Puppets controlling puppets.
Puppeteers.
I like that imagery, Clinton. I didn't even think about that, but I also like the ultimately the iconic look of him. Like I think about Babadook with the long fingers. Like I liked his look. The Darth Maul red face, very offsetting, and like the glowing eyes, like almost white eyes, like. Very great. When he first shows up, man, that gets you, man. That's probably one of the best jump scares I've had in a long time.
Oh my gosh, yeah, when the kid just goes, oh, and then it pans over and he's just looking through the glass.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, that was a great one. But I just love that one where he's talking to his mother and then she's like, looks over at him and the demon's just right behind him, like,
all right,
whatever
it is. I'm getting chills just thinking about it.
Dude, and the freaking music that goes, and her reaction, she was great. Barbara Hershey, she was so great reacting. Lorraine's character. Yeah. I loved also that her name was Lorraine. I don't know why, because again, James Wan later did the other films, The Conjuring. Yeah, Lorraine Warren. I don't know. Again, the puppet thing. Didn't James Wan do Dead Silence or not? Maybe I'm.
Oh yeah.
Or Annabelle.
He did.
Is it Annabelle? Yeah.
He did Dead Silence as well.
Are you sure he did Dead Silence as well? Because I'm not sure about Dead Silence, but I am sure about he did Annabelle, right?
He did Annabelle and he did Dead Silence. Annabelle.
Yeah, so like I think he loves all these creepy kind of things. James Wan is a very disturbed individual, and we love you for it, James.
Dude, he's been doing horror movies for a while, man. I feel like he's mastered the craft.
Yes. I know, and it's funny too because now it's like he has created the whole James Wan universe.
Conjuring universe. You mean?
Right. But like I just call it the James Wan universe, right? Because it's like it goes in from Insidious to not just the Conjuring material, or maybe Insidious is like a one-off. I don't know. I mean, like obviously there's 3 movies.
No, but there's like, obviously 4, and they just announced a 5th.
Oh, Insidious, yeah. They'll never stop making horror movies. I mean, you can make 10 movies off of this thing, and I do give them credit. Like 2010, going to another dimension kind of thing. I thought that was kind of cool. Like the Further, the Upside Down. We have all these names for it now, and it's like a pop culture thing where it's like there's the other realm, like multiple universes kind of thing where the dead spirits inhabit. I kind of like it, so I like it. The Further, it's got a good ring to it.
So apparently the new one too, James Wan is going to co-direct it with the guy who did that movie you don't like. What's the box?
Dave Made a Maze?
The Cube?
No. That game where they all show up and do a bunch of clues.
Oh, Escape Room.
Escape Room. So the guy that made Escape Room is going to make the new one. But James Wan's going to co-direct it, and it looks kind of like they're going to mix it a bit with, like, what's those found footage movies they made a million of?
Paranormal Activity.
It kind of looked like that a little bit.
Yeah. And that's what this movie benefited from, the paranormal aspect of it, where sometimes less is more. I love the tracking shots that James Wan uses in his films. Like, you follow the mom around in the house, and it just got this uneasy feeling, like, again, the following the person around, the victim. I just love that. And I also liked how the movie kept you guessing. Like, I didn't know if it was the baby that was... And again, having watched the trailer, it throws you for such a loop, because in this movie, it's like, it's the baby that's being haunted, and you're like, oh, save the baby, or it's just the mom that's seeing all this stuff, so maybe it's just between the baby and the mom, and then it's like, then they move out of the house, it's not the house, and then you're like, oh, it's the father that's being haunted, because, he's got the other ghost demon, and you're like, no, it's still the boy, he's paralyzed. It's just like, there's so many hauntings going on. I like it because in the other realm, there's a lot of different people that are trying to reach through. Like Patrick Wilson being plagued by this scary woman, the veiled woman, all this time, all these years. Love seeing the photos where it was like getting closer and closer.
Yeah.
Like that's so good at building suspense. I love it. It's just like all these photos and the kid's looking super sad, and it goes like toward the end, it just got too serious, and like the kid's not even smiling in the photo, and it's just like right there, the hand's reaching out for him, like.
And then
Terrifying.
she takes a picture of him at the end. Why did you do that?
I know. when she snaps the photo, he's like, "Why did you do that? Stop taking pictures of me."
I love the concept of how vulnerable it is that you would like leave your body and astral project into another dimension while a bunch of demons are trying to get into your body in this, like, that gave it such a like, oh my gosh. So you're like in this creepy world while at the same
Sense
time
of
your
urgency,
body
yeah.
is somewhere else being creeped on by other things, and you're not even
Or
there.
you might lose your way if you can't find your way back. It's like now your body's just this empty vessel waiting to be, the vacancy light comes on basically when you leave.
Well,
You know,
and the
'cause
little
you
boy
can
thinks
walk
he's just
around.
dreaming. Like, what kind of horrible dream is this world?
Yeah, that was the other thing too. I was going to mention. That's my one nitpick is like the kid like has a dream, like he shows him like almost flying, or he's like I'm outside, but like every time they enter the further, they're like in a dark room. It's dark and scary, and like they could see their body, but I'd be like, yeah, I wouldn't wander too far. I'll put it that way, okay? Because like I've had dreams where I've been what do you call that? Lucid dreaming, where you can like feel like you're actually controlling what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much free will is actually at play there, but like you're imagining and you're like actively doing things, and it's not just happening to you. It's a great feeling. But if I ever got the feeling that I was like approaching anything resembling what was happening in this movie about demons everywhere yelling at me, trying to take my body, or like it was just dark everywhere and there was like nowhere to go except like other dead people, I'd be like, no, done. I'm not even going to go anywhere. I'm going to stay right next to my body so I can enter it in the moment that someone else comes walking nearby and it's like, hey, you got any extra room in there for me? And they would climb inside of you, and inhabit your body. No thanks. No thank you. No thanks. I love it. Clinton.
Do you want to tell us what movies you've seen lately and what you're looking forward to?
I saw Black Widow, and that was like the worst. I hated that movie so much.
Hey, I just saw Black Widow yesterday, and no women were harmed in the making of that film.
Oh,
Okay,
well,
just many men were, but no women were harmed.
Thank
in the making
goodness.
Of that film.
Yeah, I was watching it and I was like, this is such garbage. Like, I can't believe I'm watching this right now. I looked at Rotten Tomatoes. I was like, oh, it got good reviews, but the whole film was just nothing to it at all.
Yeah, it was pretty darn okay. I will put it that way.
Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah.
Have you seen it yet, Jordan?
No, I'm kind of happy I haven't.
I was kind of frustrated by it. At one point, I was just rolling my eyes. I'm like, there's this movie. It doesn't make any sense.
It did not warrant 2 hours and 16 minutes.
No.
And I hate Russian accents. I know I say that now. That sounds really mean, but I do. I hate it. I hate when actors do Russian accents. I don't know. It bothers me so much.
Yeah.
Yes, we need to do this. I don't know why it annoys me so much. Like, yes, we are family. I'm like, shut up, okay? Just like, anyway. I also like when they would talk Russian and then they go back to talking English. I'm like, yeah, because no one's going to sit through a subtitled movie of a bunch of Russians. I wish they would go there. Also, I wish someone would die. Bet you die already. Have the stones, Disney, to kill someone off. Spoiler alert, no one dies.
Yeah.
So, except the bad villain,
I know.
Anyway.
They could even introduce a character, then kill that character.
Yes, I would have been fine with that.
Yeah.
And in fact, they did introduce many characters
They
that would have been
did.
fine dying. That would have added some emotional weight to this movie. No one dies. Women save everything. Women are awesome. And again, I don't even care. Like, it blew me away where it's like, oh, like the movie makes sense. Like, I didn't even care about the women and the male aspect ratio or whatever. It's like, makes sense. Oh, it kind of makes sense. Like, one guy enslaving all these women. Sure, great, awesome. There's your story. But in the end, it was like, wouldn't gay male assassins be better and stronger to fight? What do I know? It's like, all women, that's your deadly, assassin force. Great. Go for it. Have fun. I didn't even mind that aspect. For some reason, it just got under my skin at the very end where it's like, these women solved everything. No one died. Everyone's like perfectly happy. Like, everyone dies.
Well,
in every other film.
I went into it cold. I didn't even know this was like a Me Too kind of movie where it's all about girls being oppressed. So I missed that. Like, so I'm watching it and I'm like, what's the point of this? Like, and then someone explained that was the whole point. I'm like, really? Like, okay.
It seems a little tone deaf, in my opinion, yes. Like, you know, I'm an actress that's paid like $5 million a movie. I'm pretty sure Scarlett Johansson's paid like about $5 million. Talk about oppression, you know? Talk about ringing hollow. Your message is kind of lost on me. I'm like, I'll take whatever oppression you've gone through, seriously, to have $5 million. A movie. Anyway,
Yeah, so that was a disappointing movie.
big disappointment.
I've been watching
disappointment.
WandaVision, and I've been liking that.
WandaVision's good. I feel like they could have rushed the...
Second half was better.
Yeah, they could have rushed the first 2 episodes. It's like, we get it. We get it. You could have done it even in the first 20 minutes of the first episode.
I kind of wanted it to stay in that 50s format. I thought that was really funny.
I like the format. I don't care about the format, but what I'm saying is, yeah, again, you watch the first episode and the second episode, you're like, okay, I see what you're doing here. But anyway, I was just like,
Move it
skip to
along.
the end.
Yeah.
Yes. But again, they swing for the fences, and it paid off, in my opinion. For the most part, I still don't like... Did you finish it yet?
No, I'm in the middle of it.
Oh, okay.
Don't
I won't say anything. Yeah, I won't say anything. But again, I will just say, Disney, grow up, you spineless, gutless, worthless corporation. Do it. Surprise me. You won't. It's so safe. It's nerfed. It's like everything is Nerf football here. Like, take a risk.
Do you recommend Insidious?
Yeah, I think it's a good, solid, scary movie. If you're in the mood for a scary movie,
Yeah, this movie's good.
Yeah.
It helps you weed out the nut jobs. Those 2 guys were awesome. Specs and Tucker, whatever his name was. Those guys were hilarious.
Yeah, especially the
Tucker.
one guy with the beard. He really nailed his part.
Yeah, Tucker. Yeah, he did. I also like, it was crazy. It's like the freaking gas mask comes on. I was like, dang, like this is serious stuff.
Yeah.
Like you don't see stuff like that. Nah, it's great stuff. What are you looking forward to?
Oh man, I don't know if I'm looking forward to it, but I'll probably watch Cruella, and it'll probably be terrible.
Yeah, Jordan, what did you think about Cruella, huh?
Oh, did you like it?
It's Jordan's favorite movie. Yeah, it's Jordan's favorite movie.
No, I thought it was all right. I don't know.
It's just pretty darn okay. Just like everything that Disney produces these days, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, everything Disney does these days is all right.
It's just fine. Yeah, it's a perfectly adequate movie. It's just like, gosh dang.
It's just,
folks,
but with the
would you-
budget they're using, it's like, this should be amazing.
Yes, this should be amazing. It's like, could you just tone down the special effects and just put me into this world, or like hire a better writer, spend half your budget,
please.
like on just a better. I just need more. I need more from my movie. I need more callbacks.
No, don't say more,
I need
Ty.
character
More. You remember? You forget. Like
more.
less can be
callbacks.
more. Like they.
True. No, I know more subtlety. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like, so technically, I'm talking about less
Yes.
here because
You keep saying
it's
more.
like,
Disney, give me more. And so they're just shoveling
give
more,
it more,
crap
Disney.
into it.
They're like, oh, we'll oblige. Open wide.
Fireworks.
And they're just jamming and they're taking all the stuff you love and they're just like jamming it down your throat. Like it's like, oh, just give me something, simple.
Speaking of things that you love, I can't believe we're doing Insidious 3, and I'm like, oh no. Like, there's definitely some things that I'm like, don't do this. Don't do the fan, whatever you call it. The freaking, the fan service stuff. It's just...
Yeah, love you guys.
Peace and blessings, Doctor.
Do you want to share what you've seen, Ty?
Oh, sure. I've been watching Rick and Morty. It's great.
Yes.
I watched Nobody, which is, which I love this movie. We reviewed it on the podcast at length, but I love it even more.
Yeah, I
on
watched it
rewatch.
again, too.
It is dope. The action in it is so crazy,
good.
guys. I can't praise this movie enough. It's a great action flick.
That bus fight scene, I can't get over that scene.
That scene was crazy. At 30-minute mark, you have the craziest action scene I've seen in a long time, and it's so good. And you just feel every punch, everything lands. It's great. So it really paid off, Bob Odenkirk. You better keep getting work. And I cannot wait. So something I'm looking forward to. It's Better Call Saul, season 6, finally coming out. After the year that they've been in hiatus because of COVID, now they're back and they're going to be finishing the series. And I'm just so ready for it. Vince
Is
Gilligan.
it really going to wrap it up?
Dude, that's what I've heard. I've heard that this is it. This is the finale that ties the worlds together.
Dang, I just feel like there's so much more you can do.
I know. But in the end, like all good things, that just come to an end.
That's true.
And I'm so glad that Better Call Saul got the run that it did.
I can't wait to see what they're going to do next. Like,
Jesse Pinkman post.
well,
Breaking Bad.
I'm just talking about Terry.
Oh, they did El Camino. I forgot about that. They already did that.
Yeah, I'm just talking about Terry. What's his name? What are
Vince Gilligan.
Oh, Vince, yeah.
Yeah, Vince Gilligan.
I can't wait to see what he does next because oh my gosh,
Yes.
talk about
It's one
create
of
the
the
greatest
greatest-
universe of all time.
Yeah, one of the great storytellers that we've had. And again, it's hard because, again, you have anti-heroes, but the fact that they did Better Call Saul after coming off the wings of Breaking Bad, like, Breaking Bad almost makes sense in the context of where it was. It was so groundbreaking, but now it's like, people really don't even touch like, it's almost like cliche at this point where, like, oh, it's the anti-hero, but, like, then you go make Better Call Saul, which is so subtle and so beautiful. Vince Gilligan, give me more, and give me more of everything that you've been doing. Disney, piss off, okay? I don't need more from Disney. I need more from Vince Gilligan. The guy understands character development and subtleties and all that good stuff. So I watched Nobody. After Mad Max, no. So Extraordinary, obviously we're going to review on the podcast, and Insidious Chapter 3, and then of course I saw Black Widow. So those are all the movies I've seen. And Black Widow, like I said with Clinton, I don't know what it is in the end. Like, I'm just fine with whatever messaging you want. As long as the movie's entertaining, and the movie failed to entertain me on a lot of fronts. Just wish they would have the to make a real cool risk, and they don't take risks. And I'm very confused by the after credits sequence, so we'll watch it, because at the very end of it, I'm like, I don't get it. I think I understand, but I don't get it. Yeah, I don't get it. Can't wait to see 007. Jordan, what have you been watching lately, and what are you looking forward to seeing?
Oh boy, I also, yeah, like you said, watched Nobody, and I don't know if I watched anything else. I was in California, so I didn't really have a whole lot of time to watch anything.
I'll tell you what I'm not looking forward to. I'm not looking forward to seeing the Fast 9, and I'm sure I'll end up seeing it, because I somehow have seen every single Fast and Furious movie there is. Actually, that's not true. I have not seen 8 that just came out.
Oh, I haven't seen 8 either. That's funny.
So, I've seen 7, which was the one with Paul
Did you watch
Walker,
Hobbs
right?
and
they
Shaw?
would fly between the buildings. I did not see Hobbs and Shaw either. But I always see. I
walked out of the theater in
that.
that one. Oh, I tell you, I did go and see what's that musical? Oh, jeez.
In the Heights.
I started that with Tatiana because I'm like, oh, geez,
musical.
Gotta watch whatever the fiance wants to watch, and so I'm like watching it, and all of a sudden, partway through, I was like, okay, I'm doing this for her. I just gotta sit through it, and it's like 2 hours long. And then 30 minutes, no, actually it was an hour. She leans over and she's like, is it bad if, she's like, I'm not really liking this. Is it bad if we walk out? And I'm like, that is the greatest thing I've heard all this movie. It was...
Well, were you sitting there fidgeting, like obviously showing her that you didn't want to be there?
Oh, no. I was like, I wanted to make sure she knew, like, I'm doing this for her. And like, when you love somebody, you watch crappy movies, right?
Was it perhaps that there wasn't enough Afro-American BIPOC people in the film? Because I've heard that was a problem. The guy that made a black man play Hamilton, this is like the least racist guy. And they're like, it's not enough.
Did they really say that about this movie?
Oh yeah, dude. There's a whole controversy about it. And
Brother,
again,
Ty, they couldn't have
Facebook
been
is a,
more
yeah.
jammed down your throat. I mean, there was even a scene I think there was only one white couple, and it was like they showed up and stole the house from her. Like the Latina girl couldn't buy it because she didn't have credit.
Oh, those white folks! Oh my gosh,
terrible white people.
I hate white people so much.
Always,
I've internalized my racism. I'm so sorry, folks.
Always oppressing us.
That is so sad.
And this girl, I don't know. I couldn't take it anymore. And the songs, everything. It was.
Well, you couldn't take it anymore. So your fiance is like, let's get out of here. Like, I'm not like.
Yeah, she said, she's like, I really hate this movie. And I'm like, yes, thank you. It's absolute garbage. Dude, seriously.
Dude,
and do you know who recommended the movie, Ty? Do you know who recommended it to us?
Who recommended this
Mitch,
movie?
our cousin. I'm sorry, Mitch, but your recommendation was trash, dude.
Dude, go. Yeah, I can imagine doing a double feature in the Heights and Black Widow and being like,
you know what Mitch said
Hollywood's
was also
dead,
good?
Dude.
He said Gravity was good, Ty.
I have not seen Gravity, and
It's
I kind of
trash,
don't want to
dude.
watch it. Yeah, I kind of don't ever want to
She
watch
just
that
the whole
movie.
time wants to talk.
What is it with movies? Okay, here's the thing.
Yeah.
You know what I figured it out? I think it is messaging on behalf of quality. Like, your movies are all taking a dive because it is so gosh dang important that you make the political message or the social message rather than, like, I don't know, focus on making good art. Like, who cares anyway? Because guess what? In like 10 minutes time, cancel culture is going to come for you too. Like the great and powerful movies that you make, like they made monuments now, and those are all coming down. Film, they're going to start getting removed because they're problematic. I don't even know how Disney still has like things like Peter Pan and Dumbo. Oh my gosh, harmful depictions, but we're going to keep them up because we still want your gosh dang money. And it's like, okay, how much longer until Disney's canceled? Of course, they're a billions of dollar empire, so like they can't be canceled, but like they're just going to remove all that stuff. So, guys, right now, if you're listening to this podcast, buy physical copies of the things that you love.
Oh, yeah.
Even the stuff that's a little edgy, because they're going to erase that gosh dang stuff from history. They will.
Yeah, I got my VHS copies of stuff.
VHS copies. I mean, I was thinking like disc and Blu-ray, but whatever. Hit your what do they call that before video cassette? What was that VHS? It was the record stuff. What was that stuff? Laserdisc. Laserdisc.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, dude. Get Laserdisc. Get all the obscure. Non-existent technology these days. Love it. Anyway, I'm just saying, like, because in the end, it's like, in the Heights, this guy, like, bless his heart, he was making what he thinks is the guy did Hamilton, and like, he didn't care what race they were, the people that, the founding fathers. They just made this awesome playwright. I'd say awesome. I haven't actually seen Hamilton, but I heard a lot of people like it, and a lot of people didn't, and they're like, well, what are the implications of having him?
There's good movies made about people in the slums, like Boys in the Hood. You got, what was the one about the rapper and his son played it?
Do the Right Thing?
No.
Oh, wait, no. But that was a good movie, though.
Yeah.
I like Do the Right Thing.
Ice Cube, his son. Straight Outta Compton. Dude, that movie was so good. Holy crap.
Oh, yeah? Right on, dude. Well, and again, like I said, I haven't seen In the Heights. I just think it's so funny that your fiance is like, let's get out of here. Like, isn't she love musicals?
Oh, she does. She
like,
loves musicals.
She's like, In the Heights is not doing it for me.
No.
Well, have you ever considered the possibility that your fiance might be a racist?
I don't know.
I don't know. Well, you better want to find out. You're getting married soon.
She's married to a white male, so maybe. Because apparently that's all you need to do to be a racist.
There's strictly anecdotal evidence at this point, but she is marrying a white man. Me.
I know. I actually heard that, Ty, somebody in an argument, because they're like, you're racist. And she's like, I'm married to a black person. I'm like, that somehow makes you not racist? Like, what is going on in the world today? I don't understand.
Yeah, I couldn't possibly be racist. but I hate Mexicans.
It reminds me of Kevin, like, when people when we play video games with him, and then Cameron or somebody would call him, and he's like, I am not, because my wife can attest.
You're like, no, Kevin, you are still a
It's like, you could still be married to a woman and be gay.
You can still be married and be gay, Kevin.
So, brother.
I love it. It's so true. You know what's so funny about that? Like, they did that in Parks and Rec. Do you remember that politician guy that had the wife, and he goes, oh, we are going to go sue your...
Oh, that's
remember
right.
That guy? Yeah, and he had the wife, and he's like, okay, come on, honey. And he's like super plain point, and they're like, is that guy straight? Like, that was the whole joke, was that he couldn't, as a politician, come out as gay. He had, like, this wife parading around as if he was straight. It's so funny. Guys, watch Parks and Rec. That show is so funny. In the end, that's my thesis, is when I watch Black Widow for another time, where I'm like, they're sacrificing quality for the messaging. Like, our like, that's why I honestly think Hollywood is dying, is because they're like, hey, you like messaging about, women oppression. It's like, I mean, I guess if you can tell a compelling story with good characters
No,
about it,
you like it.
You fetching love it, and we're gonna shove it down your throat until you choke on it. It's like, could you just climb down out of my for just 1 minute, and can I just enjoy film for being good film? Because there was a lot about Black Widow that I did like, and a lot of what Clinton was saying, I was like, I get it. In fact, I don't think there's a single person on earth that doesn't get it. Oh my word, it's just like, anyway, like I said, Hollywood is dead. Jordan, me and you need to become filmmakers. We need to make movies like Nobody. That movie is amazing. There's no messaging in it. It's a gosh dang joy to watch.
Yes.
That's why I watch films. I don't watch films to see, hey, what ways can we make a fantasy about this terrible world that we live in, about how it should be, and how if women were in charge of everything, that we would have no more wars, and that no one would die, and everything would be hunky-dory, and we would all sink our together and become empowered. Like, it's just so stupid.
If there were the world would be a better place, Ty.
Dang right. But there'd be no and then children would cease to exist. I'm just saying.
No, they're just going to use all artificial. Ty, they're just going to from machines.
I'm Mad Max. They just have us in a tube, and they're just taking our dude. We're all unconscious too. Like, dude, you know what's so messed up about everything I'm saying now? I'm actually experiencing what I think I've been told is just male fragility, because I'm a toxic male, and I feel like I'm being threatened. Guys, like I said, what's so funny, again, about messaging? I just want to enjoy film, and the reason we review the movies that we do is because we love the art of filmmaking. Yes. I don't really necessarily care about the messaging until the messaging, I'm being choked on it, and it's bleeding out my eyeballs, okay? Like, I can't handle it. I feel like I'm like, I got it. There's a lot of suffering and a lot of oppression in the world. Through the window. Are there... Just name one other gosh dang country on the earth that you'd like to live in more than here, okay? Then again, doesn't exist. That's fine. Let's address the problems that are here. Let's all work together. Let's get rid of racism. Can it be done? Probably not. Like, I'm sorry, it can't be. I wish it could be, but what are you going to do? Kill every racist on Earth? Like, who's to determine who's racist and who's not? Whatever.
We'll just
This
have
is why
Judge
I used to have
Dredd.
another podcast.
Dude, I want to do Judge Dredd on the pod. Just
I know,
start
dude, yeah.
mowing down people. I am the law.
Yeah, I am the law, dude. I just shoot you in the head. It's like, wait a second. What about a free trial or like trial by jury or whatever? An honest, fair. It's crazy. It's crazy. Guys, I've talked too long about this movie. Guys, anyway, that was a fun rant. I had a lot of fun. I'm getting all worked up. Guys, don't see In the Heights. Don't see Black Widow. And watch Nobody. That movie is an escape. It is true art. It is a beautiful film. And it's awesome to watch knives go through people's kneecaps. It's so cool. All right, everybody, this is Futro Hidden Movie Gems. Leave us an email, futuremovies@gmail.com. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get podcasts, and listen to us on YouTube. Like us, subscribe to us, follow us. It's all free, except if you go on Patreon, you can just give us money. Give us your money, please. Money, please. And this is Futro Hidden Movie Gems signing out. Peace.
Bathsheba!
It's not even in this movie, Jordan. Gosh dang it.